What's up guys, Steven Dexter. Here comes a new video lessons of the week, and today we're gonna talk about PED and GBR. So we're going to have two tickers that happened last week, and they both ran PED. I think they ran about 2,000%. So I'm going to talk about my exactly thought process on PED and how I trade it. So basically, I think it was on Wednesday. So the stock is going up parabolic and start consolidating in the midday of 1.5-ish. So in $1 specific level, when under $1 stock starting breaking out that $1, because people like to short in that round number, and when they get overwhelmed or when they get squeezed, they typically get freaked out, and that's why support the support in 1.4 holding really well. The first pullback was at 120 and just bounced back instantly and just keeps halting and finally start consolidating in around about 1 o'clock and start doing the midday pattern that I talked about a couple months ago in my YouTube video. If you want to see it, go check it out. And it finished really strong. Then it gapped up in the morning and almost pushed to 4.5. So of the theory I'm developing, which is the maximum squeezing percentage, so I'm guessing almost shorts are stuck in around 1.5-ish, 1.6-ish, and when they cover, there's a specific percentage they're going to cover their short positions when it hits a level that they're okay, I'm going to cover this, or I'm going to take a huge loss or blow in my account. So I typically use 1.6, 1.5 times the 60%. That's typically the maximum squeezing percentage will be. But on this one, it's a little bit different. It involved with so many halts, and it went into the after hours, start gapping up, and the pre-market gap up as well. And come into the Thursday, I see there's weakness in the pre-market, and you couldn't really squeeze after hitting that 4.4 level. So it can come down. I'm looking to short in morning push. And in the morning was kind of weird. You pushed up and got stuffed, and pushed up, got stuffed again. And finally hits that pre-market high. And when it's starting doing the downtrending, when this 415 didn't hold that well and start breaking this 370 level, that's where I start sizing in my shorts, and I sized in all the way before 370 crack, and it went all the way to $2. So I think I made around 70,000, and other students made around 30,000 or 20,000. So this is a really low flow play, so you have to be really careful, because when you're shorting without a priority resistance, it is really dangerous, because it can easily squeeze on you, and you don't have a specific risk level to cut your losses. Then all those 2,000%, 3,000%, because when they went up 2,000%, if you short it, it doesn't need a reason to go over 3,000%, 4,000%. So in that case, shorting with those massive volatility stocks, they also come with a huge risk, and they also come with big volatilities on both sides. So either they go up 2,000%, or they come down 70%. So in this case, you can see it dropped from $4.30 to almost $2. That's almost 50. That's already 50-60%. And each time when you drop this hard, every single bounce will fail in the next day when they start bouncing, because there are just too many people holding in this massive drop. And as you can see, you couldn't really break this level of $2.6, $3-ish. And I took a short on PED, 2.6, 2.7-ish. I think I posted on Twitter with a screenshot, and also live alerted in my chat room. I think everybody nailed it. Cover into the in this week is 2.17 I bought and ticked that, and I thought it gonna go lower, but it turns out it didn't, and it closed at around the same level as it covered. So that's the general process on PED, thought process, and later on this stock, I'm pretty sure it's gonna keep fading, or we're gonna do an offering all the way to where it come from. So in the future wise, it's probably going to come with a couple bounces. I'm going to look to short into it, but other than that, if it keeps fading, I wouldn't be touching it. So another one on GBR. This stock has so many failed spikes, and it's really sketchy. And you can see in the historical chart, and it has around massive resistance in the 520-ish, and the resistance is kind of in the 2016, so which is 2 years ago. And when you're shorting using 2-year resistance, that's not really good. So when you're short sellers, be careful when the resistance are too far forward over 2 years. That's not ideal. And now on Friday, I had a huge, because it's kind of a sympathy plays with PED, and PED dropped and GBR dropped as well, almost dropped where they came from. And on Friday, it squeezed all the way to 5, and it had so many traps, trapped so many people on Twitter. People shorting in the 2s, people shorting in the 3s, people shorting in using 3.6 as a risk level. And when they cut it, and the stock instant drop. So when it bounces again, they short it again, and it gets squeezed again to the 4.7, and people buy into this breakout, and it turns out to be a fake out, dropped huge. And now when it dropped from 450 to $3, people thinking, okay, this stock is dead, it's gonna drop to all the way to 2. Then turns out it squeezed up to the 4 and hold really strong into the close. And I'm pretty sure almost all short sellers really covered into the close, and nobody wants to hold short overnight unless you're insane. So I think there's decent amount of resistance in 2 year-ish. I think it's going to work, but on this really low flow stock, it's really a gamble holding overnight. You can easily do an offering, or you can easily gap down 20%, 30%. All those big boys, because the flow is too low, they can just buy the entire flow and manipulating that stuff. And that's where the retail buyers or short sellers are losing money, because all the money goes to the big boys, and the more money you have, the more money you make. And that generally applies on those really low flow stocks. So when you have a small account, try to avoid the flow under let's say 3 million, because they're just too tiny, and when their market cap is really small also, that's just too manipulated. And on GBR, I've seen too many level 2 manipulations up in the 2s, up in the 3s, and they keep refreshing the bids, they keep pushing the stock. And when people are scared and selling, and there's huge bids, and people are confident buying, there's huge ask, and the instant drop 30-40 cents. That with a small account, you can't really afford that. So try to avoid those plays. And the volume was trading almost traded 10 times of the flow rotation, so really dangerous. And we'll see how it comes into on the Monday, and I'm guessing it's gonna gap down and push, and then fade all the way to the close. But you can't really guarantee on these. It can easily gap up. If it gaps up, don't know how it's gonna play it out on this one, and we'll keep an eye on it. And typically on those low flow stock trading, 20 million shares is kind of too much. They typically don't trade that much volume. We'll see how it comes into the Monday, and I think that's 2 stickers I'm going to talk about today. I'm also going to congrats one of my students. He made, I think, 60,000 in 2 days, on Thursday and Friday. I think he's shorting ABIL all the way. He top ticked ABIL. He's asking my opinion. I think it was consolidation into the close. Let's take a look. I think he covered in the into the 7 or 8, shorting the 13th, and the next big play was PED. I think I called that 3.7 short in my chat room, and I think everybody nailed it if they had shares to short. So recently, all the players are biased on shorts. On the longs, it doesn't really have an edge to really size into it, because either you're too late, or either you can't really predict when it's a breakout and you're holding through a hole, and either you don't know it's a volatility hole or it's going to be a T12 hole on those really low penny stocks. I don't know if you guys remember, there's one of stock it halted at $1 level, and I thought it was a volatility stock, and I got stuck in it. It was a T12 and dropped to, I think I bought at 65 cents and dropped to, once it opened, dropped to like 25 cents. So I lost like 40% on that one. Fortunately, I didn't size in that much, but with those too many holds, it's not really tradable. So let's see how it comes into the next month. Hopefully my video lesson is helpful, and if it's not, please don't hate. This is free lessons, and if you want to take something away, you go ahead, take something away. If you don't like it, just don't watch it. Thank you very much, and you guys have a great day.